So that is the handle we're going to fix. I want to actually, for anyone who tried to watch the second part yesterday, I never was able to get online. I don't know why. Very strange. So I started inside today and then came outside in case it was a Wi-Fi. It couldn't have been because I had like 4 bars or something on that. Anyway, enough about my problems. So remember we needed, well actually I had the 60 grit sandpaper for shaping everything. The lower the grits, the tougher it is, so that like it's easier to actually take off parts of the wood. Then I took about a 5 3/4 off of this to match the length or the height, I should say, of that handle as it is. Although I really wished I'd done a little bit more because now I'm kind of limited, and it could have been further. All that really matters is that there's enough of the screws, and then the handle could have come off in a different way. But because of that, I realized that the handle that went back, kind of like went back off of the other handle like that. It was to make room for where the screws are going to be, so you can go straight into where the screw is, and the handle's out of the way. So I might not have realized that if I didn't limit myself in this way. But basically, you need the wood. I use this to cut it. I also use a circular saw or chop saw. It wasn't much to cut through, so it wasn't that big a deal. I also cut off these bits. Oh, one of them split actually. Oh no, that's from the other thing. These bits off of handle was just random wood I picked up outside, and I'm going to want to round it off. I've already kind of started that a little bit, and I want to round off this part right here. Dowel. And so it's better to have a drill, so you can drill a hole that's about that size into both units, the base and the handle. It's funny to call it that right now. I hope it turns out well. And so for that, I would just put this drill bit into this drill, and it should be big enough for this dowel. So if you see right there, it's about the same size as that. So yeah. So first thing, I'm going to show you how I got this down to there. Get this out of the way. And you can actually do it like this. I did that a lot. Just kind of going around the edges, kind of rounding it out like that. Or you can also put the down on a solid piece, the 60 grit down on a solid piece. Just in case I don't use that original video, as part of this is the 60 grit. So you can also do it like that. And kind of go in a circular motion, I think, would be best to round off the edges. And I may want to take a router around here at some point to make it more fancy, but I'm first going to see whether my wife even likes this at all, as it turns out. So, and then so do the rounded edges, just kind of do that. And then later on, you want to go back through it with a finer sandpaper too to really make that that edge fine. This is really more for shaping. Still pretty smooth, but it could be smoother. Okay, so. Now, I'm no expert, so I don't know how to actually make it, exact or whatever. Like I think maybe the router would be the best thing for that, in fact. But I'm kind of I probably should add to the title here or the description at least that this is like without every tool you might need. You know, basically, you just need a saw and a drill and glue. So I've probably worked this enough. I did a little bit off video as well. There's still some areas where I feel like little kind of corners almost. That's why I keep going. But I tend to overdo things. So. Later video, I might have to speed this part up. Pretty good. Doesn't really match on this side yet, so I'm going to do this one a little bit more. Now the thing is with this sandpaper is it can get really change really quickly. So like right now I've just realized I've gotten a whole lot off of this, and now this side doesn't match because I did a whole lot over here. So I need to smooth that out though. It's almost like it's like the edges cut off. Like this is how good the sandpaper is for shaping. I'm gonna try to tilt it a little bit more as I do this. Gotta work it back a little further now because I went a little too far. It's probably good. Now I gotta make the other side match. Go up and down, up and down. It's a good way to work your obliques. Getting better. Closer. I just want to say that sandpaper is really beautiful if you just see it like, you know, without any light coming through it. It's really nice. I might have to use that as a backdrop. Thought about that at the store. I got a whole lot of sandpaper because of that. Just to round out the edge here. If you can see that it's more of a what's it called, gradual like change right here. This side is a little bit more sudden, so I'm just trying to get that in the match. Work off those almost what might be considered corners there. You know, soft corners. Pretty good there. Now this side doesn't match that side, so I'll probably work on that a little bit. But you know, that's just point the next bottom or whatever, so it probably doesn't matter too much. But here we go. Now be careful not to get your scan on nothing. So I had marked this off by just putting this next to that handle that was on that you saw at the very beginning, and just sort of like estimated where I think it was the bottom one right here at the top, and then just this line right here was pretty much in line with where the screw is. Probably just before though, I'm going to take off that handle and actually put it on top of this and mark where the actual screws are just to make sure. So I got that. Now I'm going to work on the handle itself. I don't really have to do anything with the dowel because it's already round. I might have to do something with the edges depending on how that turns out inside there. So, but I'm going to first work on this flat edge right here. Use a new spot here. Let's see how quickly this can get down. Go around a bit. As you can see, we've already pretty much lost the edge on that. Still flat that way, but it curves into that flatness. So going in a circular motion, turning it around as I go. Try to do as much on every edge as possible. I mean, as consistent on every edge as possible, I should say. Right. Would anybody be interested in seeing somebody learning to play guitar? Trying to think if I would want to see other people struggling as I do. I told my wife the other day that I'm getting pretty good at guitar. I just need to work on, I just need to actually become good at strumming, fretting, timing, and actually tone as well. I'm a little tone deaf. Anyway, who would be interested in that? Hearing somebody failing miserably at learning guitar. Just comment there and I'll let you know. But you should go and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there. I mean, it won't always be live. I'm going to edit these videos so that. But it would really help me out to see whether I'm even reaching anyone, really. And comment too. I need to know things like I said in that last video with the omelet, like just random sort of thoughts. I put on my discussion on my channel, but I need to know who out there likes 3D movies. I need to get a movement started to bring 3D movies back. My brother and I both would, but we almost seem like we feel like we're the only ones in town, at least in our town, that care about movies, in fact, but also about 3D movies specifically. I know people care about movies than care about 3D movies, but if we could just get a group going, it's going pretty well. If we just get a group going, like maybe one theater in town. It could be like a lottery, and one theater in town gets to show the 3D movie, and then everybody goes to that one theater. Like there's got to be some kind of solution. I can't have all those people working on 3D movies go out of their job, just because of, well, we'll say COVID, but at the same time, people weren't going to them before either. I always thought movie theater should have like a deal where if you brought your own glasses, it's only an extra $1 like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm no businessman, but I feel like it would probably, they'd get more business maybe that way. Like maybe people are discouraged from paying extra for something they don't really feel like they see a difference on. Although my brother and I, we notice it every time. I mean, actually, when I saw that Hercules movie in 3D, not the one with The Rock, but the other Hercules movie that came out recently, I noticed that it was bad. Like as far as the 3D goes, like at some point the background seemed to be in front of the foreground. It was very interesting though. But I'm probably the only person in town that noticed that because I was the only person in town that went to that in 3D, at least. Let's see. It's like if the acting's no good or the storyline's no good, then hopefully sometimes at least 3D is good. I can't go to kids movies anymore by myself, or my brother and I can't go on our own, which we would do before because the Pixar movies were always really great in 3D. And it feels like it's all over now, baby blue. Every once in a while, I'll show a close up of a something I'm working on, and it'll also have like a little bit of a song, like a picture of kind of like combined. I usually combine two windows in a screenshot to save space on my phone, basically, but I take so many. But it would be a song that I would be listening to right now if it weren't for copyright issues. And I just really wish that they would just let us listen to whatever we want and play it, and then other people might discover this new music they had never discovered before or listened to before, and realize that now that they like it, if it weren't for copyright, it just seems so wrong, like backwards. If you don't agree with anything I'm saying here, it's probably not a very good video. I could edit it. So let me know. Let me know if you're not really interested in anything I'm talking about, or let me know if you are, and then I can keep this conversation with. It'll be interesting to see if you can't hear anything I'm saying while I'm doing this too. But now the sandpaper is getting pretty ripped up there, but it's doing the job. So I'm turning it in different directions as I do this to try to make all of the edges the same. I don't want my kids to run their eyes into a sharp thing, so I'm trying to smooth it out, make it round. Truth is, I really don't even know how this is going to end up looking. I'm just sort of doing it, hoping that my wife likes it. Otherwise, I was supposed to go out and buy like a $40 handle. I won't like it much. But as I say, happy wife, happy life. Now that is pretty good. I think I'm going to use a finer sandpaper to actually make that smoother. Now I'm going to work on this side, which I've already kind of started. You can see that it's not as many edges there. Corners or edges. On that omelet video, I'm gonna have like I was just like listening to some other albums by Brian Jonestown Massacre. They're really good. It's like kind of psychedelic, almost 60s style rock, Along with classics, Although it's the modern, it's like 90s, but and they're still making music now, but it's kind of rough right in there, but I don't know if I'll be able to get into it. Actually, I'll show you the sandpaper all over my computer. So I have to do it this way. You can also use a screwdriver if you need to get into like a little groove or something like that. Put a screwdriver behind it, or something like that, and then you can like kind of maybe hold it onto the screwdriver. I'm gonna use this real quick to get into that little groove, just to smooth out that area, so it's got no rough edges. Look, I'm back. What's really ripping up the sandpaper, but good thing I got the Pro Pack. That's what it's called. Of course, I got it because of the way the sandpaper looked. I wanted to use it as a put little sheets up on the backdrop. If it's in the background, you know. I was hoping to find different colors of sandpaper, but mostly all purple. Seems like light blue, green. There's no warm colored sandpaper. Now the thing is, I could cut off this edge like that if my wife doesn't like it later or whatever. She's like, why did you use that whole thing? I don't know. I never know what people like. Even my wife. I'm always wrong. It's weird. Like I always think. I said you. I don't think so. I think I said that. But everything's like Schrodinger's cat to me. It all is and isn't at the same time. It's like dead and alive until you know. And then once I know, it's only one option out of two where she does or she doesn't. And I get it wrong later again, so it doesn't really matter. I never know until I bring it up again, I think looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see that detail, but smooth. Well, actually, there's some rough edges there. Just go with the finger here. See if I can get that in there. But if you aren't, I do a blog about movies. If it's big screen worthy, like you're not sure if you want to go, and it's also on streaming because of this COVID thing. There's some movies that just have to be seen on the big screen, and I don't know if I don't know how many people agree with me on that. I think like people that don't agree with me on that are people that just never go see movies that have no idea. But blogspot.com, which is must watch basically on the big screen, and there doesn't mean it's one that you must watch. Like I go into detail about like there are certain big screen worthy moments, but if there's not very many, then it's like, well, you might as well watch on DVD, I guess. But sometimes it's the sound that makes it where, well, it can be a constant remote holder because you're in a house where you're going to wake people up if you have it too loud, and it's one of those movies where it has like low volume going up to really high, like building up volume, and that's something you really want to experience, You don't want to have to be turning down the volume as the music's going up in the show, in the movie. So for that reason, I say sometimes, just go to the movies. So like, why not? Like, I don't understand why people aren't going. Kind of especially right now because when my brother and I go, it's basically a private showing a lot of times, which is sad. I wish it wasn't that way because I feel like, are they going to stop showing movies? Are they able to pay all their employees? Like, nobody's even going. But anyway, I digress. It's like, just go, just experience things in a bigger way. That's my philosophy. Anyway, I've got this other one that's first 15. So if you're running late for a movie and you're starting to think, oh, I don't want to rush. I don't want to be late. I don't want to miss the beginning and not know what's going on. I got a blog for that. It's first 15 where the I and the F first. So it's F1R5T first, and then 15 spelled out normal. First15.blogspot.com. And that also will give you like what I have repurposed the TTYL as time to take your leave. So if you need to go out and go to the restroom, and normally at home you'd be able to pause it and go. If that's stopping you from going to the movies, check out that blog to find a time that you can leave the movie, go get a refill on your popcorn or drink, or go to the restroom or whatever, and you can read about what happens in that time. Oh, it looks like I need more bird seed around here. Birds are back and there's no seed. Huh. Okay. So first15.blogspot.com and mustwatchhigh.blogspot.com, and it's actually on Infotainment, which is like info, a fountain of info about entertainment is basically how I put that together. Infotainment is where I put all my first thoughts. So if you're trying to put like links to the first 15 and the Must Watch High and reviews on that, so that would be like the I guess the hub to go to. Infotainment, like info or in fountain, then mint, MENT. And I put those as things are meant to be experienced without the A and the mint. Yeah. That is pretty smooth now. And you know, my wife might make me cut that part off anyway, so I don't want to work very much more on that. I got to use the fine sandpaper anyway too, so and the wind is blowing us towards the computer. Oh yeah, didn't do that. What about doing it this way too? And move up and down, over the edge. This is a bit more of an edge than this curve is, so I'm gonna have to go up and down. Round and around. Sideways. Other side. I'm gonna keep some of that authentic wood look. Now here's a real rough area I kind of want to smooth out. It's an interesting area, but could hurt somebody. Let's see. Smooth that pretty well. I need to use the edge a little bit here now. That's it's smooth all over now. Oh, some of these areas where I actually cut it off originally, I cut off little bits and bobs with a X-Acto knife, so that kind of makes me smooth out a little bit more there. Not necessarily a natural look, you know. And that would be terrible if, like, when I start drilling a hole into this, it just breaks. Didn't have to go into the epic fail video category. I wanted to go with more of like a kind of a wand look on this, you know. I was actually just imagining. I always imagine things like people asking me like, "Why did you choose that?" Or, you know, like when they're looking at the handle in the house, like, "Why'd you choose that?" Always judging me. So that's gonna be my answer. I don't know. Yeah, why did I go for a wand look? Like, you know, what do you want? What do you want me to do? It's kind of fun. I used to do art. I'll get back to it. Sure. Last time I painted it just did not turn out very well, and I'm just worried I lost that ability. Sure I can get it back. A little up there. Pretty smooth overall. Right in here. Just got a feel for it. Roughly right in here. Yeah, I kind of want to just put it, and then you know I can worry about making a better handle later, right? But this is the basic concept anyway. So it's gonna go together like this, something like that. Well, and this actually has to be off to the side a little bit so that we make room for the screws to go in there. So it'll be kind of like that. And like that. With the dowels coming off this way and this way. Maybe at an angle. Might try it like that. So I'm not really planning ahead too much on this. I'm just kind of doing it. But I'm gonna go in like that and like that. So this side probably needs a little bit more. Oh, in fact, this kind of is an edge, while this is very smooth over this way. So I'm gonna definitely make this one match that, as in that regard at least. And then maybe even a little bit off the corners there as well. This one's smooth, this one. Kind of going lightly. this is the side I need to make match that. There's an actual edge right there. It's not even curved yet, very much also. I also do this kind of get the foundation coming in the eyes. So what I'm looking for. Gradually change. It's a little edge on here still, but let's come off a little bit. More still. Just a little bit of the corner there. Going to smooth all the way around now. But I think what I'm going to do is go with and 20 grit sandpaper now. Oops. Oh. Look at that sandpaper. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's like real bright on that video. It looks like it looks white to me. It's actually purple. Interesting. Oops, I sounded away the benchmarks. Very smooth. Even this is shaking it a little bit. The 120. Also got 150 and 80, I think. Yeah. So it would normally go from most gritty to least gritty, 80, 60, 120, and 150 out of the ones that I have. So I guess you could think of it as grains of sand. If there's bigger grains of sand, there will be less of them. And the bigger grains of sand will carve more into wood than a finer grain of sand. Actually, the ones that were like 220, I think it was, felt like felt. They actually felt like smooth. It was weird. Like, who does that? And what would you use that for? How fine can you get things? You know what I mean? Okay. Well, I said I'm just going to do it a little bit. I'm just going to get it done without worrying about the details. And here I am worrying about the details, as always. That's pretty smooth all the way around. I go? I do have some of this one. Put the fine grits. That could have actually sharp. I didn't realize that. See how well this takes off. Yeah, getting my fingers on the sandpaper and my knuckles. It kind of hurts. Could wear gloves for this, I guess. Get in that little area there. I might end up covering it up with something. I don't know. Trying to think. Oh, that was better. Try not to do that every time. Oh, I hope there's not copyright on saying that. Pretty smooth all over. Pretty round on that edge. This one's pretty round. I actually haven't gone over this with a fine sandpaper yet, but ouch. I got it back in my finger. Oh, look at that. Got wound. Extreme wound right there. So now my workouts, if you're doing this sort of the professionals are watching this video and just laughing. I'm an artist. A warrior artist. I gotta take my wounds where I can get them. I bet I'm coming across as a real wuss. It actually doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I don't even feel it. I just noticed it. You know, just I should not wear my boots, you know. Maybe you could. I'm going with the larger handle at first, and then you know, I could always just redo it. How long does this take? Days. But a lot of times that's just because I waiting for YouTube to like start streaming. But I guess I could just always do it like I do it. Like I did it today. Start inside and then move outside. Okay, so now down to the nitty-gritty. Okay, so now I gotta actually plan this, sort of. So it's gonna be like this. They're gonna come off the edges or the corners like that. And which way is better? This way or this way? Can comment now so I know which way to put this. First of all. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to go out to there and out to there. Let's see how well that fits. It's going to come from behind. Yeah, there's this little imperfection there. Let's see if I can take that out. Do it like this bit. Actually, already gone. But I thought I haven't really done the path of the handle. I'll just do it like this. Let's see that again. Nothing to it. Nice. Here I go again. Sorry, I didn't have the thing in that place there. Gonna throw that little key thing to loosen this. And you know what? Oh, I need to. It's too big for this, so I need to get an adapter. This will do it. That'll fit in there. This will fit in here. Tighten it. Tighten it more with the key. To keep this on here, pull it back. Should be locked in place. Okay, so we're making a hole big enough for this. And both of these. I don't really know how this is going to work out. Probably should drill a hole here first for this point to go into. And probably should clamp this down instead of using my hand, but I'm going to go ahead and try it. Let's see if it fits in the first place. It'll actually fit in nicely. On the bottom, it's almost right there. I might have to sand that a little bit. Make it look right. I'm going to angle this up a little bit. Put it back in there and then tilt as I probably shouldn't have done that. Alright, split it a little bit. Maybe you can send that problem away though. 60-bit. worked on that corner so long on the sanding. Corner's basically gone now. Might end up having to make a bigger base after all. I actually use the end of this other bit. Try to get in there with the sandpaper. Now what I could do is actually screw from the back into down. Would be actually an idea. I wanted to put some kind of metal or heavier kind of might have to use some wood putty there now. It looks like it's maybe it's just kind of have it. Might as well do the other side. Wait, sure. It's gonna be this, right? Is that what I said? Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense. So now, how far out is it going to go? What about that far? Right, you can see that. So I'm thinking like that far out. So cut it off right about here. Remember, we can always cut off more, but we can't cut off less. So I'm just kind of estimating anyway. I'm not too worried. I gotta, make room for the actual angle too. What I don't know is maybe I should do one of these angled ones. Always sand it though. About right. And we'll go into this a little bit. So right about there. Seems about right. The question is, will it fit there? How far can I go? That's going to be the issue. Because this little point here goes a lot further into it than that is even thick. Made a good housing for the dowel either. So let's see. It's got to be pretty close. Because that'll go in like that. I could put a hole in here and do like a little stick going into both. Glue it in place. Like Kramer with an empty empty gas tank. How far can I go before? Ooh, that's me real. So let's see how this would look as it is. Right now it's not far away. I could sand the end of this so that it actually fits better, because I feel like it's kind of raised on the inside there. I might even take a screwdriver into it and probably should use a screwdriver though. Something a little more smaller. Or just once again, maybe let's try to. Oops, nope, that's not working. Okay. Well, in the meantime, I'll go ahead and do the other side. Now, this is where it might get to where I have to really make sure I'm going at the same angle. Let's see. Oop, it actually split a little bit. Well, okay. Go ahead and make it the same length as this one. Probably doesn't have to be exact. Off the edge there. The edge here. Definitely. Okay. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do a little drilling right in through there. Maybe look for a screw. I can put it in there and secure the place before planning where the next thing goes. Where my drill is. Make sure my battery's good over here. For this 30 seconds, we'll actually fit through there and through there, and hopefully it won't split this. Okay. Just in case that wasn't showing. Fits through there, and it fits through there. Actually, a little room to spare, but it should be okay. I don't want to make this too big, so lefty loosey. Tighten it. Make sure you use clamps and everything, all safety equipment, eye goggles, all that stuff. When you do that, you're not doing that for the purposes of this video, so don't hold me responsible if there's any injuries in the various aspects of this. Sounded like a little bit of a snap, so I'm not sure. Good. So now we can need a little bit of sanding on the edge there. Okay. Seems like it's going through. That's something I should have checked. I should have probably started it here so I knew where it ended up going. Or either, I should say. And where's your? Oh. So holding that in place as good as I can. If I hold this here, that actually look a little bit better. And just make sure this one is good. Even though this is the one with the split right there. So I hold it on. I really don't know how you would clamp this actually. And it's off. I don't know, maybe I should go a little further. Okay, that's that one. I'm just going through that'll work. Let's continue it. I guess I could just make sure that fits a little bit better before I know where to drill it. That. Splitting this other side. What I read was that the polycarbonate, whatever for wood glue, is actually stronger than wood when it dries. So I'm hoping that that's what that Gorilla Glue is. I didn't have my glasses when I went to the store to see whether it was, so I don't know. In fact, I'm not even sure if it says it. That one's split. That one is almost split, actually. So I probably really better be careful with this. Ooh, yeah, that's split. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's close. Okay, so that's what not to do. But, and I just can't get that close enough. I needed this to be a bigger one of these. So we'll go back to the beginning and do that. and maybe put this part at the beginning of the video later. So, but I won't go through all the sanding videos. You know, I know that might be a little too much. Like the small one is the bigger one later, because I am going to go and make a bigger one now, bigger than this, using I'll make it just a little bit longer, making room for the things at the edges or go out. Oh wait, but how much further could we go? That's the question, isn't it? Well, they don't have to be as much of an angle if it's longer. Like they'll be angled back, but they won't be angled out as I did it here. So we could actually have them angled instead of out, just angled back. And it'll still pretty much conform with this stick. So I'll just make it a little bit longer though, just considering that. We don't have to worry about the angles too much. So maybe put an extra ½ inch on that side, a little extra ½ inch on this side, and then give it a cut. Okay, so this will be the snap where we started at the beginning of the video. Hello, my name is Herschel Boyd. I'm going to show you how to not screw up a handle. Okay, I'm actually starting over and redoing this one, adding a ½ inch, about there. Oh, getting a call. I think it's spam. I don't think it's the guy that I made an appointment with. 346 area code number. They're just calling to see if I'm going to answer, and then they're not going to say anything. Oh, restricted call 10 minutes ago. See, they got us text. No, no text. Cut that. A little bit bigger this time. It's going to be more sanding space, right? Shouldn't have that hanging on there. Okay, so I got a little bit bigger, not thicker. So I'm actually wondering, could I combine these two? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay, bye. So I'll show how it started the sanding, and then probably end this video and do a third part where we actually put it all together. But basically, this is what I did. I'm just gonna go look real quick and make. That was a guy to come see about replacing the doors. This is the thing. And as long as I have enough room for that, the screws, I think it should be good. It is. Okay. Okay. So. Okay. Okay, so basically to match that as well. So For that, I would go along the 60 grit sandpaper. If I hadn't already put these two together, that'd be kind of interesting. Have that extra layer, extra height, but I don't know, still something I'm thinking about. You wouldn't need that. This kind of becomes being more appropriate. But so basically, this is one that's already got the page. I sort of like almost planed it with the sandpaper and made it even thinner. So I'm trying if I want to do that this time. Then a little bit back. Flat again on this side. Pretty good curves there, man. Didn't make much. Pretty good. Next little splinters are there. Now we'll do the ends. Little slats, a little bit higher. A little bit higher. Almost flat again. Pretty good curve there now. Now I want to do the edges, curve those off. Almost flat, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, almost flat. Now it's kind of sharp at that point because it's curved around this way and it's curved around this way. But I got to circle. Pretty good. But you got to change the angle a little bit, kind of rotate it around as you're sending it too. And just feel for extra little curves and little points that you can take out. Just a little bit, because it could create new points if you keep going too much. I think what I'm doing here. But it could be I'm just not getting rid of the original point. My finger up on top, I just sandpapered it. What I learned from my last thing was I don't really have to worry so much about this part. I'm going to cut that off basically with the drill bit, but I do want to kind of curve it off a little bit. Maybe not curve it down, but curve it off. Just for the shape. I'm going to do the edge a little bit there. That just starting a little bit sharp again. Or actually, I never really did that. I never really finished that one off. Yeah, something like that. Either that or it feels more like an edge compared to the corner I've shaved off. That could be just a second. Pretty good curve there. Didn't take too much. Since I will have it going off in this direction now, instead of like that, with the shorter one, as I did here, going out the corner. Now I'm going to do a little bit more like this, so that it meets up at the same point where this one would have met up with the handle, with this one. So I'm only going to worry about the curve this way, not necessarily the curve this way, because that's going to be cut off. With that, you can still see, as you can see there. The start of the video here. Well, actually, this will be the beginning of the video later on. So you know, if you want to talk about movies and music, talk a little bit about that later. If you've been watching, I talked about it a little bit earlier. But thanks for watching, and catch the next parts hopefully soon after this. I'm gonna try to go live with this. Well, I don't know how long the guy's gonna be here for the other thing. I'll try to go live with this about 3:30ish, maybe 4 for part 3. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah.